I know I'm now in the English speaking session, because when I look out in the audience, I can see many people in dress, in suits. So in the Norwegian that we have before, there were not that many people in suits. So I think we're now in the English session. So far, we have been sending out about 100 contracts and signed 100 contracts since we started. And 4 of these contracts are not signed. One is signed, the EPC contract, Tvedestrand Arendal, and we have 3 other ongoing contracts or projects, as they mentioned earlier today. And as we have seen, is that 60% of those who try to pre-qualify for these competition are from foreign companies. 60%. And sadly for you, only 25% come in and are pre-qualified. So when we have this pre-qualification, we see that 60% of you try to be pre-qualified, and 25% of you succeed with that. So I think you have something to work on to lift that percentage up to maybe 50%, because many of our projects are very large. I think they are rather interesting for you. Therefore, you are spending time and money to sitting here today. So you should try to read everything that we send out and do as best as you can to answer our pre-qualification documents. And I can see one sitting there who has succeeded. He is among the 25% so far. So we have some basic principles in our company. And this is the basic principles for all public procurement, and should also be the basic principles throughout Europe, because we are, as not a member of the EU, but we have this agreement with the EU, and it says that we have to follow your rules regarding to how we do our competition. So basic, we need competition. So we cannot go out and just buy it because we like you. We have to find out if you're the best. We have equal treatment, so that means that it doesn't matter if you are from Spain, Italy, Norway, whatever. It should be the same demands for everyone. It should be predictable. It means that we should, when you read what we have sent out, of course, maybe it's not that possible to understand what we try to tell you, but it should be predictable that what we mean about these competitions. And it also should be verifiable. It should be so that you can look into it. And it should be based on proportionality. That means that we don't have 100 pre-qualification demands in those small contracts. But in the large contracts, we have a lot of demands. From 1st of January in Norway, we have this new regulation, public regulation of how we conduct our competition. So you should look into those regulations and try to learn how is we going to have our competition in the future. And so all our requests for tender will be announced. And we will announce them both in our webpage, as you can see on the screen. And if you come from Greek, are there anyone from Greek here? Non-Greek? No. From Spain? Spain, yeah. So you have the Spanish flag over there, and you can switch into the Spanish flag, And at least you can see these headlines in Spain. And also we have in Germany, and we have in Sweden, and we have in English. So you just switch it up here. And you have to use Internet Explorer to have it work, not Google Chrome. So this is where we announce all our competitions, and you can find them there. And of course, we are also announcing them into TED, which is the EU way to announce them. And we cannot announce them on our webpage before we announce them in TED. So you can look into TED, and you will find them there. And what's very important is that the response deadline is stated in the announcement. I think it's about there. And then you should be very aware of that. Because in Norway, 12 o'clock is not the same as 12 o'clock in some other countries. Not yet. So we are working in Norwegian time. And we have one competition now, a pre-qualification for Arnkvern-OL, which is the E6, that goes out on Monday at 12 o'clock Norwegian time. 12 o'clock Norwegian time. That was the advertising. We also have this principle of equal treatment, as I said. So that means that we have equal demands to all tenderers, and the equal demands are basically functional requirements. We hope for functional requirements, not a detailed specification of how you're going to build it, but what we're going to have to build. As the project manager said earlier, they talked about how many bridges we have, how many tunnels, but they didn't say you have to build it like this. Annette Aanesland, she said that there are 7,952, something like that, more or less, shall demands in the handbooks from the road authority. So you have to follow those. And of course, that's a challenge for you. But we try to say it's a functional demands, but you have to look into the handbooks as well. So, and the new regulations from 1st of January, and of course Norway, since we are not member of the EU, we always try to be the best in class. So we always follow all the rules that you said we're going to do. So the request for quotation, the request for qualification and request for tender are sent out at the same time. This doesn't mean that you are sending out the offer at the same time. You just say that you have to be aware of sending out the request for be qualified, because we will always qualify you first. And after we have qualified you, we select, normally we select 4 to 6 suppliers that will be able to send us a tender. But you will see most of all the documents up front, so you can be aware of if this is a project that are in your interest to participate in. Is this clock counting down or up? It stopped completely? Okay, thank you. I thought it was the same time. So what's also new from 1st of January, and this is from throughout Europe, is this European single procurement document. I'm not sure if any one of you have been participating in this competition. They're using these documents. But we are obliged to have this, our qualification demands in this type of documents, and you should answer in these types of documents. They are electronic. So they will be sent out together with the pre-qualification, and you will see it there. This link is from the Norwegian page called doffin.no. For those who have Norwegian with you, I can see on that table they have brought Norwegian with them. They can help to find what they should do. So it explains what this scheme is, this form is. The rules for the tender process are supplied. We tell you all about how we're going to conduct this competition, and which award criteria we're going to use, how we're going to choose you, and we never use only price. Never. The most extreme is that the price counts for 25%, and that means that 75% is something else. The something else is could be the risk assessment plan, it could be add-ons, it could be other things. So we are doing this best value procurement project for 2 of our projects now. The first one is Rugtvedt-Dørdal, and the second one will be Arntvern-Moel, the one who has the pre-qualification date on Monday at 12. These best value procurement consist with 6 pages of the tender, and we put up a maximum price, so you cannot go over the maximum price, and you have to give the 6 pages, and we will interview you. And of course, you have to then learn Norwegian very fast, because the interview will be in Norwegian. So just have to train. All tender documents that we require, all documents are to be delivered together with the application. So we have seen that some did not deliver us the documents in English, because the pre-qualification we do it in English. So you have the time to learn Norwegian for a month or so. So we do the pre-qualification in English, and then you deliver all the documents. But remember to deliver the documents in English. Do not deliver them in Italian, Greek, Spanish, Netherlands. Deliver them in English. That's very, very important, because some of you will then be disqualified to participate in this competition if you deliver in another language than English. Or, of course, you can deliver it in Norwegian, if you like. And it should all be delivered in this program that we're using for having all the tenders. So the results from the evaluation, and that shows from when we choose one of you or one of the Norwegian, we will tell you about the results. And there are rather detailed description of what we have evaluated and why we have chosen one of you and not the other one. So if you like, you can have this. This will be announced public, but it's in Norwegian, so then of course you have to train to Norwegian. And you also have this debrief. For those who didn't reach up for this competition, you can have a meeting with us, and we will tell you what you didn't do as well as those who won. And also you can tell us what should we do differently. And many will say you should have it all in English. We have heard that before, so of course you can say it once again, but we'll have to consider that, and it depends on the market. It depends on the market. So the debrief is for you. Finally, I will say that the most important in all this competition is to read exactly what we are looking for. Try to read it, try to deliver what we are asking for, and do not try to put in all other stuff. Just deliver what we are asking for. And if you have any questions, please ask them, but ask them within the time limit that we have set it. So just ask the question. You can ask them in English. In the pre-qualification phase, you can do that. And we'll try to answer as good as we can. But do it before you send in the pre-qualification. And every project is different. So now we have heard about the E39 that will come out in the autumn this year. And you heard about the E18 that will come out within within a month, the first one. And then the other one will come out in this year. And you heard about E6 up in the north, in Trondheim, the center of Norway, as you said. I'm born there, so I agree with you. And they will come out in different times, and they have different demands. So you should look very careful what they are asking about now. Is it the same pre-qualification demands, or is it something else they are asking for? So please read very, very carefully what we are asking for, and please send us what we want to have from you. And I can promise you, we will treat you equal as everyone. It doesn't matter if you come from Greek, as nobody is from Greek here, I can say that, or from England, or from Sweden, or from Norway, as long as you fulfill our requirements. And then we'll look for the best of you, always. And leverandørdag, that means supplier day. So now you have learned your first Norwegian word. Thank you.
Thank you, Bjørn. This concludes the lectures, the presentations. And now, representatives from Nye Veier are looking forward to meet you outside in the exhibition area. As I said previously, they have one task today, and that is to answer all your questions. And I'm sure you have some questions, even though the people on stage have been rather clear today. There will also be served a light buffet in conjunction with the exhibition, so you can grab a snack. And finally, let me remind you to please answer the survey, which is about to land in your inbox tomorrow. We're excited to read your feedback. Your answers and comments will make up an important part of what we need to consider when adjusting and improving our execution model, and also the stuff Bjørn has been talking about now. On behalf of Nye Veier, thank you so much for your attendance. Enjoy the rest of your stay. There's going to be people here for as long as you want to stick around. And safe travel back home. Thank you.